What's going on, everyone? Talen here, and welcome to another Marvel Future Fight video. Alright, for this video here, I wanted to take a look at the rewards for Knull. I did get him as my world boss of the day yesterday, so I decided, you know what, this is as good a time as any to kind of record my clears against Knull here and see what kind of rewards I get for doing 5 clears. So for this video, I will talk about the rewards, and I'll also have all 5 of those clears up after I kind of go over this stuff here. So I'm just going to put up the clears. That's why the video is going to be really long. So if you're just interested in the reward aspect that I kind of discuss a little bit, that's just going to be at the start here. And then I'm going to have the clears run after this. I don't really plan on talking over them. I think I'm just going to try to find maybe some copyright-free music, play that in the background, or just have the clears go as is. Kind of depends on what I can find, because as you know, even copyright-free music now seems to be getting struck down on YouTube, so I'm not even sure if I should risk it. Just have the clears go with just no music in the background, which is probably pretty boring for you guys to watch. But I wanted to include all 5 of those clears at the end so that you could still see the full clears with each of those characters. So if you did want to watch them to see how I was able to clear with any of those particular characters, then you could do so. But with that long intro out of the way there, as you can see on the screen, I have my rewards for all 5 of the clears. And yeah, first thing you'll know is the rewards are not any better than regular World Boss Ultimate. Oh, and I guess before we go any further, yes, I do know that they announced that the rewards are getting buffed for Knull, so I will be talking about that right now as well as I go over these rewards. So we get pretty much the exact same Black Antimatter, exact same Chaos Nordstone, same for the Titan components and the Titan components and dimension dust. Yeah, trying to remember the name of it. Gosh, forget the name of it. I just call them like tier 3 materials. So those are tier 3 materials. Then we have our clear ticket, and then for world boss of the day, you're guaranteed to get those new materials for the new upgrade system, which yeah, not using those right now, so they don't really have a purpose for me. So I guess those will just accumulate until they fix that system, and I actually feel like I want to use that because as of right now I'm not using the CTP or the card system. So yeah, they're gonna have to change that before I start using those. And then we get our dimension debris as well. And then I did get 1 CCF bonus there from World Boss of the Day. So that is one good thing about Knull, is for World Boss of the Day, you can get CCF as that hit, which is normally only attributed to Thanos. So if you did want to use Knull here as, or try to build up Knull's Conqueror level and stuff like that, you can get CCF if you have him as World Boss of the Day. And you're guaranteed for those new crafting materials, but that's pretty much it. As you can see, the rewards are very underwhelming. And now we could talk about the reward buffs. So they're going to now give us some guaranteed CCF, which is not very much. It's 2 to 4 CCF per run guaranteed, which again, I mean, it's better than nothing because we don't have any guaranteed sources of CCF right now that we can kind of farm each day. So if you were, you know, strictly trying to get as much CCF as you possibly could, then Knull would probably be your best bet. And he's also going to, oh no, it doesn't increase the amount of regular CCF you get, so you just get that extra guaranteed. And then we are getting a buff to the Black Antimatter and the Chaos Nordstones, which for me is a more interesting and more enticing proposal to start fighting Knull more often, because I'm always running out of Black Antimatter and Chaos Nordstones from upgrading characters to level 70, so I'm actually really happy to see this buff. So previously the max amount of Black Antimatter that we could get was 79 per drop. So as you could see from my run there, the highest drop I got was a 71, so we didn't quite get to the cap there. But now your minimum drop is going to be 75, so the minimum is going to be higher than any of the drops that I got there for all 5 of my runs. And then the max is going to be 105, so that's going to be a pretty sizable increase to the Black Antimatter I could get every day if I do 5 clears of Knull. And then the Chaos Nordstones is kind of similar. The max drop that we could get is a 24 currently, and I did actually hit that max drop on my 4th run there. As you can see, I got the 24. Now the minimum is going to be 25, so that's going to be really nice, and the maximum is 35. Again, not a huge increase there. Maybe they should have raised that to like between 30 to 40 or something would be a better increase instead of 25 to 35. But either way, that increase is really going to help me in terms of getting more characters to level 70 for potential and stuff like that. So that's more of what I've been looking for, because I keep, like I said, running out of black antimatter. But there's one big thing that is missing from the rewards here for Knull that other world bosses have. You know what that is? It is Odin's blessings. Yes, so that is one thing that Knull doesn't have, which I'm not sure why they didn't give him an Odin's blessing, because they've given it to every other world boss ultimate. Even Supergiant, you can get some from your Conqueror level. So it's very confusing to me that the most difficult world boss that we have doesn't give us an Odin's blessing. So if you're looking for Odin's blessing, then yes, of course, you're not really going to want to fight Knull, because you don't have a chance of getting it. And the Odin's blessings, they're not that uncommon for the regular world bosses to drop. Just the day before I had Knull as my preferred world boss, I had Thanos as my preferred world boss. Out of the 5 runs, I got an Odin's blessing, and it was actually a bonus drop though from him being the preferred world boss. But what I'm trying to say is I did get one on just those 5 clears. And usually, on average, if I have that world boss selected as the preferred world boss, I generally will get an Odin's blessing, I'd say, every 3 days or so. So like every 15 runs, I would be getting an Odin's blessing. They seem to be a little bit higher for Thanos, because I tend to see more drops when I fight Thanos, actually, which I'm not sure if that's intended or if for my particular RNG, I just happen to be getting more drops with Thanos. But I do see more from him, and the other world bosses, like I said, they drop pretty consistently for me. So I would really like to see them add that to Knull. That would really make him a lot more enticing to fight for some of like the mid accounts to, I don't know, semi-veterans. Because I think like the full-on veterans that have been playing for a while probably have a lot of Odin's blessings built up. But for the players that don't fit into that category, we're probably still searching for Odin's blessings quite regularly. So that's one thing that could be changed. So now that I've kind of said my piece about the rewards, that yes, I do like certain aspects of it, but I still think it needs to get buffed even more than what they did with the upcoming improvement. Let's move on to my clears here. So now if you're interested in seeing the 5 teams that I used, I'm going to be going over that. So the first team that I used here is going to be Scarlet Witch as my main DPS. And then we have Quicksilver for team up and Red Skull for the team up. So we get 2 team ups here. We have our own self-buffing leadership, and the team up for the siblings there is some all attack, all defense, which is nice. And then Red Skull gives some dodge and crit rate, which since I have a CTP of Rage on my Scarlet Witch, I mean, it can't hurt because I don't think I have all those stats capped, but oh, I didn't mean to remove her there. I was trying to click on the little magnifying glass. So let's go take a look at my build on Scarlet here. So I do have some Odin's blessings on her. As you can see, I have, I re-rolled all 5 of her, or all 4 of her gears to the 5 amplification. I forgot that I did that. So yeah, all of her Urus and Odin blessings are amplified. For her skills, I have all of her skills fully leveled up. For her Isolate set, we have a fully awakened Power of Angry Hulk, and then the CTP of Rage, and a mythic uniform. And then if we go over to the stats here, you can see my stats for my energy attack, attack speed, crit rate, and crit damage. So if you have a similar build to my Scarlet here, then you could probably expect to be able to clear stage 1 of Knull with your Scarlet Witch. So that's why I'm showing the stats. So if you have similar energy attack, you know, and other offensive stats, you should be able to do the clear that I did with her, because those team up bonuses are only giving her an extra 5% all attack. So you could technically just use her only and just 2 random teammates with her just to be able to enter the fight, and you should be good to go if you have a similar build. And before we get in any further, I'll show you my card stats here. So let's view the cards. That's what my cards are looking like for anyone that's interested. They haven't changed in quite a while now, so you can pause here if you want to take a closer look. But let's go ahead and go back to Knull over here. So that was my first clear. My second clear was with Doctor Strange, and I just used Spider-Man and Iron Man basically for the team-ups, because again, Doctor Strange is going to be similar to Scarlet. You basically can just use him. You don't need any extra support. We have his own self-buffing leadership, which of course really helps. And then for the team-up bonuses here, we have some all-attack here. If you're short on ignore defense, then you can get that from the team up as well. This one doesn't really give us too much. The movement speed might help a little bit. Then we have some energy attack here, and then some more movement speed. So now I'll go ahead and show you my build on Doctor Strange. So here's my Doctor Strange. We have just regular Urus on him. I don't have any Odin's Blessings. I believe we just have some 5-star. Yeah, just 5-star Urus on him. All of his skills are fully leveled up. His Ice Weight set is fully awakened with Hawk's Eye. And then we have a CTP of Rage on him. So yes, I know a lot of my characters that I'm showing for the clears against Knull have CTPs of Rage, but he is quite difficult. So my characters with CTPs of Rage happen to be the ones that worked, or at least the easiest clears for me to get, because I am able to clear with a few characters that don't have CTPs of Rage on, but they are more difficult clears. And then we have his uniform just at Legendary. Here's his stats, so you can compare. If you have a Doctor Strange with similar stats to mine, then hopefully you should be able to clear as well. And now moving on to the next one. We have this team here, which we just have Apocalypse for his leadership, just a small leadership, because Sharon doesn't need much help. She's one of my quickest clears, at least for stage 1, so she's definitely going to be my pusher if I want to start trying to see how far I could go in the stages for Knull. And then we have, what's it called? The Blue Dragon there for the team up. And again, she doesn't need the team up. I just threw in Blue Dragon because we have the team up and because I have her, because Blue Dragon cannot be the main DPS. So she's not necessarily going to be someone that you're going to need for this clear. You could just throw in any random 2 here and Sharon should be fine. If we take a look at my build on Sharon, she's one of the characters that does not have a CTP of Rage on, but here is her Urus. Again, it looks like just some 5 and 4 stars, so I have some room for improvement there. All of her skills are fully leveled up. Her Ice Weight set, we have a fully awakened Power of Angry Hulk, and then we have a CTP of Energy on her. And yes, she is able to do this with just a standard damage proc obelisk. I just found that I wasn't able to clear the final stage after Thor weakens Knull because I couldn't get any damage accumulation from my 3rd skill because he's not attacking me. I just wasn't doing enough damage to finish him off. But when I switched to a CTP of Energy, then I did have enough damage, so that chain hit was making the difference, at least for me personally. Her uniform is at Mythic, and here are her stats, so you can compare to see if you can get a similar build to try to take your Sharon in against Knull. And now for the 4th clear, we have Odin being the clear here and using Medusa and Thor for team up and leadership. And for my Odin in particular, I did actually need Medusa's leadership with the 45% all attack. The 30% from Captain Marvel just wasn't enough. So he actually needed that extra 15% all attack. And then the team up we're getting is max HP crit damage and then some attack speed and crit damage. And if we take a look at Odin here, there we go. So here's my build on Odin. We have some Urus on him, not very many, and then we have 2 Odin's Blessings, so I could definitely pump him up a little bit more. We have all of our skills except for the 1st skill leveled up. Again, I just never used the 1st skill. Oh, I forgot to change. I said this last video as well. I forgot to change his Ice Weight set. I keep meaning to give him a fully awakened set, so that could actually definitely help out his damage. But anyway, we just have a 4-star set at stage 4 here for Power of Angry Hulk, so I could get a little bit more out of his Ice Weight set. And we do have a CTP of Rage on him. And finally, his uniform is only at rare, just because I am saving materials right now, but I'll probably bump that up in the future. So if you have a similar build here for Odin and a similar or 45% lead, which I don't know if there's any other 45% except for Medusa that can work against Knull, then you should be good to go. Yeah, so there's his build. And now we'll move on to the 5th and final clear, which is actually going to be Star-Lord. I found Star-Lord to be the easiest last clear here. We have Mystique for her her support, her tier 2 passive, but Star-Lord actually I don't think it needs it. So you could, if you don't have Mystique, you could probably just use, if you have a similar build of course as my Star-Lord, you could just have another random teammate there. And again, Professor X is not being used as well, but he has a team up bonus here that I could take advantage of for some all attack. And for my particular clear for Star-Lord, when you get to it in the video, it was a little bit sloppy, and I did have to switch and kind of sacrifice characters because I just wasn't switching at the right time, or I kept finding myself in a bad position where I couldn't get to the safe area quick enough. But anyway, here's my build on Star-Lord. Again, a lot of room for improvement on him as well, because I still have him just at 20 for his gears, because that's how they gave him to us. I didn't feel like using my materials here to get his gears ranked up. And then, oh, and no Urus as well. So yeah, my Star-Lord is actually pretty bare bones. We have his fifth and third skill leveled up. I should level up the fourth skill because I do proc on that one, so I could get some extra damage. His Isolate set, we have just a stage 6, so it's not fully awakened. Overdrive. And then his CTP here is a CTP of Destruction, which again can be replicated with a regular Obelisk with guard break immunity, crit damage, and a damage proc. So yeah, pretty kind of free to play build friendly Star-Lord here, and a legendary uniform, and he was able to clear Knull, and he actually does it quite easily. He's one of the clears that I'm not as stressed about when I'm fighting Knull. It seems like either the clear is safer, or just because his tier 3 is such a long iframe, you feel like you're not in harm's way as much. Whereas the other characters, I keep getting knocked back by a lot of attacks, I keep getting stunned, I keep getting snared. But Star-Lord, since he's in iframe, like pretty much all of his, all the time he's doing damage, I'm not really getting knocked back or snared or stunned very much with him compared to my other characters here. And if you wanted to get a ranking in terms of how easy these fights were, I would probably rank Sharon as the easiest of these 5 clears. And then it would actually be Star-Lord, followed by my Scarlet Witch, then Doctor Strange, and finally Odin. Odin is kind of just a tight clear in terms of time, so that's why it was a more difficult one. But in terms of just annoyance, it's a lot more annoying to play Doctor Strange against Knull. There's just too much going on with Doctor Strange's skill animations that I can never see what attack Knull is doing, so I keep getting caught off guard and getting like one-shotted or pierced and stuff like that, just because I can't see what's going on with Doctor Strange. So that's one thing that's a little annoying. But anyway, now I'm going to hop into the clears. It's already a really long video without the clears here, so it's probably going to be like a 40-minute video, 30 minutes, something like that. But hopefully you enjoyed it nonetheless. So that's going to be it here. Enjoy the clears, and I will catch you guys in the next video.
rolling through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless. Burning the bridge that keeps us. I'm here and I'm feeling exaggerated, that's what you assume. The story's over now, I must conclude. I am conflicted, watching where I step still, hanging in the balance. Not the life I want to live, I want to take it all. Standing tall, for fear I weighed the person you are. Oh, break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless. like I'm floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless.